MG have just revealed the price in Australia of the MG4 Xpower. It's basically their all-wheel drive, hot hatch, first all-wheel drive electric car MG have ever made, and it's stunning. The price has blown a lot of minds. A lot of people are losing their minds. I've looked at some comments, hundreds of comments, just blasting this car, saying it's a death trap, it's dangerous, it's a joke, it's a terrible car. Someone said it's the epitome of the worst form of motoring you can possibly imagine. They called it hell on earth. This is all so ridiculous. It's hilarious. The MG4 Xpower is an amazing car for the price. I'm very surprised at how low the price is. Now, I thought it would be about 10% more than this price. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking, the MG4. Now, my first experience with the MG4 was surprisingly incredibly negative because I was trying to film the car and someone working at MG hated me, and I mean hated me, and blasted me and just would not stop. I mean, I said, all right, mate, don't worry. I'm not going to share the footage with anyone. And he actually made me give him my phone to ensure I had deleted the footage off my phone. Obviously wouldn't take my word for it. Now, the MG4, by that stage, there was thousands of videos of the MG4. It had been revealed for many months. Like it had been shown in various countries. It had been at motor shows. There was YouTube videos all about it. I was taking a video of it, and this guy lost his mind. Sometimes people can be like this, and that was my first experience. Now, after that happened, I ended up meeting the general marketing manager of MG in Australia, and this guy was an absolute legend. And he spoke to me about MG's vision for EVs globally, and not just globally, but also in Australia. And I think it's a really, really good one. You can see what they've done here. The $39,000 or $25,000 US MG4 is a brilliant car. Now, a lot of people say it's got quality issues, it's got this kind of issue. Now, guys, it's a similar price to an internal combustion engine Toyota Corolla or a Toyota Corolla hybrid, which is just crap. Have you driven a Toyota Corolla? They're really small. The boot is minuscule. The technology is probably 10 years old. Really, you're telling me you'd rather get a Toyota Corolla than one of these? That, in my opinion, doesn't make sense. The MG4 for the price is phenomenal. You get what you pay for to a certain degree, but with the MG4, I think you're getting a bit more than what you're paying for. And I'd say the same thing about Tesla vehicles as well, in particular in Australia. Now, what else do we know about this new MG4, and why do I think it's so good? Well, first of all, it can do 0 to 62 miles an hour or 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds. For the price, that's amazing. I mean, this thing costs like $36,000 US. 59,990 Australian dollars is an amazing price for what you're getting here. The specifications: 320 kilowatt, 600 newton meters of torque, and you can actually register your interest, whatever the hell that means. I don't like that idea. I think they should just say you can order it on October the 6th. Apparently, it will be arriving in Australia in November. So the Xpower uses a 64 kilowatt hour battery. It's an NMC battery, so nickel, manganese, cobalt battery type, not an LFP battery pack. I mean, that's okay. Personally, I prefer LFP batteries, but you know, it's still a decent battery pack. Now, the range for the car does seem relatively low, and there's two reasons for that. Well, actually, three reasons. First of all, it's got 385 kilometers of range. From a battery pack that size in a car this small, it seems like that's not a lot of range, right? It's really not. 64 kilowatt hour size battery should get you more range, especially with that kind of chemistry. But for one, it has two motors. So that means the car is heavier than the rear-wheel drive version. Two, it has bigger wheels. So the bigger wheels, obviously, that's going to reduce your range a little bit as well. Now, three, adding that extra power is just going to drain the battery faster. So that's the reason why you're getting a lot less range. Now, if you buy the long range version, which is about $4,000 cheaper than this, you're going to get a lot more range. You're going to get nearly 500 kilometers of range from the long range version. So if you're into more range, more practicality, then that's the model to go for. But if you're into a lot of fun, and I mean, this would be a lot of fun. There's no way known. 95% of the people who want to drag your ACU in this Not to say you should go drag racing looking for people, but I mean, occasionally it's a bit of fun, right? 95% of the people would be blown away. They had no idea that this thing has supercar speed. Now, this is the kind of people I reckon would want to drag race you. People buying Audi RS3s, people buying the Golf R, people buying the AMG A45S. Now, this car is faster than all of those cars, and it's cheaper than all of those cars, and it's electric. In my opinion, it's a really good deal. Now, what does it get in addition to the other variants of the MG4? It gets orange brake calipers. So, doesn't do much for me, but anyway, it gets a black roof. I'm not a fan of black roofs at all. I know a lot of people are though, so hey, I would have to get the black version so then I can match my roof with my body color. Anyway, it also gets unique 18-inch alloy wheels, which at least the wheels aren't too big, and it gets polished trim accents. Don't know what that means. It also gets Alcantara upholstery and a unique hunter green exterior finish. Now I've got to say, I really like that hunter green exterior finish, but I'd prefer it if the roof was the same color, but that's just me. Now, other paint colors you can get are Black Pearl, Brixton Blue, Camden Grey, Volcano Orange, Diamond Red, Sterling Silver, and Dover White. Australian models also get a lap timer. I don't recommend you take this car to the track. I mean, that said, that's what everyone said about the Model 3 Performance, right? TopGear, Jeremy Clarkson, I love the guy, but he said some dumb things. He said the Model 3 Performance couldn't go around a corner, and then they went and tested at the TopGear track, and lo and behold, it thrashed the BMW M2. It literally did thrash it. Beat it by 2 seconds on a track that takes 50-something seconds, meaning it was light years ahead of the BMW M2, which everyone said would win. Even I thought it would win, didn't. So this is the thing about EVs. They actually handle better than you think. Now, even though this car weighs 1,800 kilos, that center of mass is all at the bottom of the car. Think about it, all of its rivals, Audi RS3, AMG A45, etc., etc. All that weight is high. That engine sits high up in the car, and it's not evenly distributed. All the weight is at the front of the car, right? So with these EVs having the battery pack spread out and having dual motors, one motor at the back, one motor at the rear, you can balance the weight nearly perfectly. I think the handling of this car will be significantly better than what people think. But that said, some people don't agree with me. I'll tell you for one. Here's what TopGear had to say. If you're still insisting this is a hot hatch, then the answer is no, emphatically not. It's dull. There's more texture and feel in the brake pedal, sharp initially, then pretty solid underfoot, than in the twirly steering or the flat chassis. It's not eager or enticing at all. There's little feedback from any of the controls, no noise, not even artificial piped-in noise. Who the hell even wants artificial piped-in noise? Anyway, it's reasonable at 7/10, leaning a little, but otherwise scotting cleanly around. I haven't heard of the phrase scotting cleanly around, and I've been reading UK automotive magazines for many years, so I'm not sure what that means. But push harder, and the claims of torque vectoring look very thin. There's not much depth to the driving experience, and you tend to fall out of the seats. But still, £36,000, which is the same as Hyundai asked for an i30N, which is 100 times more exciting, hyperbolic to the extreme, 100 times more exciting. The Hyundai i30N is very slow in comparison to this car, but anyway, more dynamic and better developed. The MG4 Xpower is a hatchback that just happens to have 400 horsepower. Now that's what they said. But the thing is, a lot of people, motoring journalists, have disagreed with TopGear. And TopGear are making, to be fair, some incredibly hyperbolic claims here. Apparently the i30N is 100 times more exciting. Now, to create 100 times more excitement than going 0 to 100 in 3.8 seconds, you would need a lot more than a car. You'd need like a rocket or something insane like that. So clearly I think they're really exaggerating. And considering some of the other reviews from motoring journalists like Matt Watson from CarWow, who said it's the best car, one of the best cars he's ever driven in his life. I'd say he probably drives better cars than anyone at TopGear. You've seen the channel, I'm sure. Some of the cars they drive, they're absolute amazing supercars worth many, many millions of dollars. Very few journalists ever get to drive them. I'd say he's a pretty good expert, and he says this is a good car. Now, is it going to be perfect? No, there has been some quality issues with MG vehicles. They need to get those sorted. That's definitely a concern. The other thing they should sort with this car is the tyres. Putting these tyres on this car was a stupid decision. Now they put Bridgestone Turanza tyres on a performance car. That's what I would be changing straight away. Now, if I bought this car and I've thought about it, I'd be driving it out of the dealership and straight down to the tyre shop. I think everyone should do that. You don't want a car with insane power like this that has basically like shopping trolley tyres on it. Now, they're not real shopping trolley tyres, but they're definitely not the right tyres. You would get a huge improvement in the quality of the drive if you put some good tyres on this car. What else does it have, this car, over the standard model? Well, it has some technical enhancements, says MG. Recalibrated springs and dampers, stiffer anti-roll bars. MG says the suspension is 25% stiffer and the steering is apparently sharper. Now, the MG4 Xpower has a dynamic cornering control system featuring an electronically locking differential and intelligent motor control that allows for torque vectoring between all four wheels. Now, what I suggest to TopGear, I think they sound stupid. I think they're exaggerating so much, the credibility is just falling to the floor. And to be fair, TopGear has gone down to the toilet since, all the big guys left. Jeremy Clarkson, James May, Richard Hammond. Ever since they left, it's just no one even cares. They're not relevant anymore. Now, I suggest if they want to be relevant, get these cars out, test them, prove what you said. Prove that this thing can't go around a corner. They're saying it can't. Prove that it can't. It wouldn't take them very long. They have access to this car. There's like 50 staff there working there. Get off your lazy butts, take the car to a track and prove your hyperbolic statements and see if there's any merit behind them. Now, I'm going to guess they would have probably already done that. In my opinion, MG probably isn't spending enough money on advertising with TopGear. I don't know. Could be wrong. Either way, 60,000 Australian dollars for this car is an absolute bargain. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments. Thank you for watching.